The patch has been out for a little while by now, and with it came a huge slew of changes to the Dota meta as we know it. This video intends to provide a few pointers towards making your gameplay go smoother and achieve greater results. One of the changes that might be overlooked easily but has a huge effect on the game as a whole is that of the increased movement speed during nighttime. Due to the map now being bigger than ever before, it's very important that players can move around and utilize the new terrain to their benefit. Whenever day turns to night in Dota, every hero on the map gets 30 movement speed for the duration of the night, unless recently hit or having engaged with another hero or player controlled unit. This change isn't just randomly implemented either. The intent is for players to make the most out of this increased movement speed during the nighttime, which is where killing and ganking really comes into a whole. By utilizing the extra movement speed provided, early ganks have a much greater chance, and the shrewd player can really make clever use of the nighttime, at 5 to 10 minutes as well as 15 to 20 minutes. One of the additions to the game was that of Blood Grenade. Blood Grenade is an all-around amazing item and promotes the idea of playing very aggressive around the new meta, since it seriously impairs any hero it's tossed upon. With its mere base cost of 65 gold and costing 75 of your own health to cast, you can slow another player by 15% of the total movement speed, which means it even scales later into the game, which makes it even more valuable. During its 5-second duration, it also does a total of 75 damage, which is lethal to any enemy it's currently present on. Considering their low price and how efficiently they scale due to the percent, making use of their low cost and their increased likelihood of you getting efficient and reliable kills around on the map, it becomes crucial you make use of them, especially as a support player. Assuming you have a slot available to you that's not being actively occupied by something else giving stats or having to be used crucially, such as Dust for an example, there is such a huge benefit of being able to slow opponents in a 300 AoE by 15% of their total movement speed. One of the things that can initially be rather jarring about the new patch is that they decided to add even more timers into the mix of the average Dota 2 gameplay. This new timer in particular comes from the spawn of a new item available next to the side lanes, known as the Lotus, that spawns in the associated Lotus pool. The Lotus can be acquired throughout the game and become progressively stronger as you combine them together, and can even end up becoming a permanent barrier when combined with a cheese. A very fundamental laning premise regarding them, however, is that they spawn at a very exact and crucial timing, 3 minutes. This is the exact same time that the bounty rune for both jungles spawn. Now, side laners, in particular position 4 and 5, will have to make a decision on what objectives they would like to take control over. Players will have to make a call on whether or not they want to get the Lotus that is closer to lane so they can get some burst healing or mana for themselves or their ally and remain close to the lane itself, or if they want to traverse in and take their bounty rune, which puts the lane at a bit more risk. This creates an interesting early laning dynamic where kills can be very likely to happen if people play around these timings. An unfortunate position 1 could meet their doom while their position 5 is trying to make a run for their bounty rune. Likewise, an enemy position 4 could get himself killed at the Lotus pool because both him and his opponent position 5 decide to engage for it. And in the ensuing fight, enemy position 4 bites a dust and the position 5 can now triple down, getting a kill, getting Lotus and getting a bounty rune. This timing dynamic was made very intentionally and it can be downright lane defining when played out efficiently. Among the many changes that took place in 7.33, one of them that's slowly starting to take root and define mid lane is that of a stackable hard camp close to it. In prior patches, mid players had easy access to camps that could be stacked very efficiently and cleaned up after they killed the creeps on mid efficiently, resulting in them getting a huge benefit in their income. This scenario has with the new patch cropped up yet again, with the addition of the large creep camp that's fairly close to the mid lane, allowing it to be stacked and taken out in almost much the same way as in prior patches. The main difference to point out here though is that there's a clear bias in these two creep camps currently. Radiant's pull timer on this camp is significantly better than that of Dire's, allowing them to much easier pull and stack it because of the leaf time associated with the creeps. In comparison, Dire's mid camp is just so much worse and makes it so much harder than Radiant to stack it, creating a skewed favor for the Radiant mid laner, assuming they make use out of this trick. At present, it's unsure whether or not this is intentional from Valve, or if they're going to change it in any of the upcoming patches. But as it stands, this is something to take into account and make use out of, knowing that you have the clear advantage with your pull camp mid as Radiant as opposed to Dire. Thank you for watching the video. I'm trying to push more content focused on 7.33 every week, and I would love if you would consider giving me a thumbs up and a follow. I've been working very hard on Dota content for almost a year now, and I'm hoping to be able to continue to do so with your continued viewership and support. I hope you all have a pleasant stay here in the brave new world of 7.33. Let's embrace the patch for how great it is and come to understand it with time.